or it would be placed on the YouTube also. So no need to worry anything about it. Okay. So this is something that I wanted to let you know to each one of you. So let us go ahead and discuss right now. Just give me a moment. I'm not interested in this at all. Okay. So let us do whatever it feels like. Now, this is the one that I was trying to discuss. Okay. Now, first, I would be discussing with this one, this particular onion, which is there for the research. And majority of you who are into the research, either at MA, MPhil, or immediately after the post graduation, or after MPhil, wherever you are, I don't know, some of you must be knowing it, and some of you who attended my last workshop, I shared it over there also, this particular onion. Now, this is the basic one. Though Saunders, as my mentor, does not just stick. This he published, I think, in 2018. That was the latest book that he had, and it has been taken from there. After that, there had been a lot of changes. In fact, I would say in research itself, this is not just the one. This is more or less, he says that I prefer to share it to those students who are very naive and who are not aware of it. Now, if you look at, I'm not going from this direction, from the inner core to the outer layer of the onion. What I'm planning to do it is go the other way around, and that is the best way to understand what is the basic thing that we are looking for. So here you will see that the first realm, as they are talking about, focuses on your research philosophies. However, before this also, there are certain things that we need to understand, and that's why I made that timeline, and I wanted to showcase to each one of you to make you understand as to what exactly is taking up when we start off with the research, and how you are supposed to understand it. I remember it very well when I started off my journey in the research. My exposure was first with this thing only, with philosophy. When I was doing my post graduation for 4 years, like in other countries, not in India, in foreign countries, what happens is that post graduation takes place for 4 years. It's not for 2 years like in India. So, there was a lot of in depth kind of a study that we have to do it. And philosophy, we have to study all the 4 years. We cannot just say goodbye and do whatever we feel like. So here it was something that it was taking place rigorously, and I know the way we have to read certain things. Now, after giving you the introduction to the timeline, then I would like to go ahead discussing what is positivism, what is realism, what is interpretivism, pragmatism, whether there are more schools or differences are there within these schools of positivism, realism, is something that I would be covering for the next 4 days of my sessions that I'm going to take up, wherein you would be understanding each and everything. After we have understood what are the research philosophies available, and one more introduction which I'll be doing it in this particular workshop, is not just the Western philosophical researchers area that we are going to look up out here. So I'm making it as Western. I'm going to introduce even the Eastern concepts also. Now, in Western concept, the names are like positivism, realism, interpretivism, pragmatism, critical realism, idealism, rationalism. There's so many schools out there, and we will see 2 days to understand the Western concepts that are available for us. We will be looking at it, and in the same manner, in the Eastern schools also, you will see that the styles are very different, and I'm seeing that enough of papers are being published in the other countries, though I wouldn't say in a very rigorous manner. However, yes, like University of Kentucky, University of Manchester from UK. Then some schools like Deakin schools in Australia. I see that max to max 5 schools of management. Here we have got more of the students coming from the schools of the management in this particular workshop, though there are just a few of them, bunch of them who are from other schools. So I would be focusing on each and every school so that you are aware of it. So when we go to the Eastern, now the question arises, how many schools tomorrow when I'm going to start off with this particular domain? You would see that yes, Western schools are very different from the way the Eastern schools are going to work out or even discuss them. So giving you that part of it is also necessary so that you are able to get introduced to those schools. And I have some of the people coming in from Tibetan Buddhism. They would be there. They would be giving you an introduction to how the research can be done, using let's say the the principles, I would say, of Buddhism, or let's say Jainism or Advait Vedant, like Bhagavad Gita, all of you are aware of. However, there are other schools also, like Tibet is very famous for its Buddhism. Then we have got the Indian Buddhism also. Then apart from these Buddhism schools, we have Jainism also, which does a lot of work, and none of you, I think, are aware of it. And me and the important softwares that we are going to introduce are now working on these schools and how to do these things using NVivo or MaxQDA or even the Atlas TI or the other schools. Now, you see, you will be able to get these things done very nicely, and that's the importance of each one of you in this particular and in this particular workshop. Number one. Number two, you will see that your own contribution, like some of you raised this question that yes, we are more interested in getting our work published. Then definitely yes, you should go ahead. Like Karkos person, while he was doing his PhD, he came up with that particular software and he was able to do it right now. In the same manner, some of you who are into it can join the team along with me, and then the contributions can be made towards the Eastern school. So we have the Chinese research philosophies, then we have got Japanese schools of philosophies are available. Then I find out that even Islamic schools are also there. Now, most of you who are coming, some of you, I would say, who are coming from the finance background must have read some of the papers which are more giving importance to the Islamic finance. Now, I would not just say Islamic, so you have got Islamic finances are there. Then you can go ahead and you can look into Islamic research, how they are doing it. Now, they are not just focusing only on their concepts from Quran or Holy Quran or what the other people have said. In fact, they have started doing the comparative work with the Western part. So here, when you are given the exposure to the Western concept as well as the Western concepts, and now you are coming up with the Eastern concepts, I think you would get good exposure to different philosophies, and you are able to go ahead with this kind of a thing. So that is the thing, importance of the timeline that I'm looking for. Then comes after that, what you call it as the approach, the research approaches that we are going to look into. Here, the important ones that they are focusing upon in this particular layer, the second layer, which is common to most of us, will be, and that's the reason why the common purple color is there for us. Either you can use deduction, abduction, and induction. Now, this will be taking another 2 days of my workshop, wherein you will completely understand what is deduction and what is induction, and why, which schools focus upon deduction. Like, for example, if you are adopting, let's say, positivism, then you will have to understand and see how deduction works out for positivism. If it is induction, can I use positivism school or do I have to use some other school, is what we will be looking at the induction. Now, apart from these two, there are certain other things which I'm going to include it, and that is like an addition for your platter, I would say, and then you would be getting it. Now, these two layers are common for all of you. Okay. Now, after this, you will see that the major part where we would be entering into is, whether I'm going to go ahead with mono method of quantitative school, or mono method of qualitative school, or it is multi-method quantitative, or multi-method qualitative, mixed methodology, simple or not, mixed method complexes or not. Now, here comes in your individual research areas, and that's why it has been marked into this gray area, because you're going to choose. Now, today, after this session, I would be sharing the book by Saunders sir, so that some of you are able to read them and try to understand as to what it is, and then we would go further. I think there is somebody else who would like to join up. um okay, no, not yet, they have disappeared again. Okay, so let us see now how to go ahead with the next one. Now, once you have taken care of this third realm, we enter into what we call it as the next, the fourth level, wherein you would like to see that yes, if you are taking care of the qualitative schools, then experimentations, survey, archival research, case study, ethnography, action research, grounded theory, and narrative inquiries. Now, these are more or common, I would say, the qualitative schools that they have introduced. However, I would say these are not the only ones, because you can see that this part of it has been kept open, and we will see how to occupy these schools in the coming sessions of mine on qualitative research. Now, after you have discussed, now they are coming in whether you would like to go ahead with cross-sectional or longitudinal. And let me tell you, even in qualitative, just similar to your quantitative, we have got, and this is something again nobody touches upon, and I say but please go ahead and learn. If you are looking up, as I said, phenomenological schools, they would be focusing on longitudinal searches. Now, if you are talking about Buddhism, it would be talking about longitudinal. Bhagavad Gita, definitely yes. And we will see what are the other schools which are focusing on cross-sectional ones. Should I introduce the action theory into it, or should it go basically for something else that we are looking for? So under cross-sectional, I will be showcasing to you some schools which are pertaining to it. And me, Dr. Creswell, Michael Fetters, who is coming from different background, we are focusing now to come up. And if you look at Dr. Creswell's book, today I'll be sharing all the books that has been published by Dr. Creswell, and you will see he focuses only on 5 approaches towards the qualitative research, not more than that. However, now with the new book going to be launched up, you will see that it's not just the 5 approaches, there are more approaches in the qualitative research domain itself, and we will look into it more. So here, now we are entering into this field where you can talk about your own qualitative work in terms of longitudinal or the cross-sectional areas similar to our quantitative studies. However, the approach and the way we are going to look at them will be very, very different. And I, after interacting with some of these scholars who are taking my help in Tibetan Buddhism, I have seen that it's not just the simple schools of like in commerce or management schools that they are doing. They are also working into Tibetan astrology, and then the alternative schools of medicines. It can be tarot reading, it can be astrology, it can be palmistry. Then I'm looking even into astrology, the way they are doing, and especially one of the astrologer from Australia. The way she has been learning astrology was totally different. And the moment I told her, why not in this? So, we have come up with what we call it as the applied, and that was totally due to the qualitative search after interacting with individuals who are keen to understand. And each one of us come from a different background of our birth charts, each and everything. So that becomes a very fascinating area to understand. So, don't think that, yes, these are the only ones that we need to look upon and go ahead with the research. Look into the creative ways when we are giving to you so many things. Like, for example, I'm not going to touch upon the mono method of quantitative in this. Maybe later on in another workshop, we will talk about it. However, when we are talking about mono method qualitative or multi method qualitative, or the mixed method simple one, or the mixed method complex one, you will see the importance of all these schools or the ones that you have done. Then the last but not the least is your data collection and the data analysis. Now here, when I'm talking about the data collection, not tomorrow, but after this week, next Monday, I would be focusing exclusively 1 hour only on to understand what are the various ways in which you can go ahead with the data collection, and what are the various ways you have got for the data analysis when it comes to the qualitative research. So the depth reading of it and understanding these things, I'm sharing the book by Dr. Saunders et al. And on basics of the research methodology, wherein he discusses. And coming weekend, I have a nice, a wonderful person, who has been doing a lot of research and been helping a lot of PhD scholars. He is joining us up and to give you the introduction only to the various schools that are present and how to connect them. And before that, the groundwork, the foundational level, I am taking care of it for all of you. So Saturday, do join me up at 8 o'clock. He would be there, and he is going to give you the introduction of the research methodologies which are available exclusively for the qualitative research work. Though I'm doing it, he's a wonderful expert, and I think he's a very senior person also, number two, number three, and he's in this domain from the past 30, I think 36 or 40 years almost. So, just hear to him for 1 hour, and once the session is that over from his side, when we will open the questions, you have got that leverage. You can ask him any of the questions that are there. Now, coming back to my area, that is the timeline of the research. Now, part of the qualitative research, we have seen, what exactly is happening, and we have understood in big words, I would say that yes, what it is. I'm so sorry, I have to introduce that onion before taking you through the timeline so that you understand. However, before you even start off with that, there has to be some groundwork that you will have to do even before registering yourself for MPhil. Now, some of you, majority of you are in at the doctorate level. However, it's nevertheless late for you now also. However, just look into these things, how the things are fitting in. And some of you who are going to take up your after the research work or must be teaching, and that is the reason why I'm giving away this thing, so that you can share it with your juniors, number one, or you can help yourself also, number two. Number three, if you are into the teaching line, kindly help them at the level of the masters or at the BBA level, also BBA, or let's say the graduation. I find the undergraduates to be really quick in coming up and understanding. Delhi University, I'm hearing, is going to start off with the 4 year again, and number one, number two, with last year giving emphasis on the research. However, even while we are reading some text, where we have the case studies. And in my class, at least I know my girls who are there, they are so intellectually so alert that they collect the data very quickly and they start giving me the ideas. So I think each one of us, if it can happen to me, it can take place with you also. So some of you who are in teaching can guide your students in this way. I'll be telling you how to carry forward and make you understand this also, side by side. Now here, when we are talking about the area, what I mean by this is especially which domain you belong to, number one. Number two, if you are coming from that specific domain, what are you supposed to do so that you are making a nice picture for yourself for the future? Not only for yourself, even for the students also, side by side. When I was teaching my MBA students in Guru Gobind Singh IP University, in one of the affiliated colleges, I saw that MBA students always used to tell me कि हमने इतना पैसा invest किया है, in return what are we going to get? So at that time, when you are giving the orientation, or you are interacting with those students, especially for management, I'm talking about professional courses like management. Then you have got, apart from management, law. I'm making it up in shortcut writing. Then we have got the architecture. Then all the 5 streams of engineering sectors also. Apart from that, law, journalism, management, architecture, educational system was also there for us. Then the pharma was also introduced, and when we started teaching the students, I was their faculty, and I was given the charge to interact with the students to understand and make them know how they are going to go ahead with the future. So, we used to tell them, like all of you, in which you are able to see, we take them to the industries, which you call it as the industrial visit. You are making them do the internships. Then a time comes when they have to focus on the summer project. In the last year, we give them the way in which they are going to appear for the interviews and everything also. So this is one part of the story that you will have to look as the future academicians, or even the current existing academicians. If you are able to make them understand what is the importance, like I have seen some of them, not just some of them, majority of them, they went to the photocopier, and there they had the ready-made, the thesis which was available at the level of MBA. I'm talking about the projects. So they used to give them 5,000 rupees, get the ready-made, project ready, and they used to come and give the interview, and they knew that the teachers would be there. The invigilator will be given beforehand that yes, see, these are my students. This is how they have prepared. So kindly go ahead and take care of them. Or a little bit of manipulation, and the marks were there. However, when I saw my students doing this, I asked them, do you think that what you're doing just with 5,000, you're happy with it? Or when you are giving the interview, especially, when we call the industry individual to come and hire the candidates from our college, I told them, how are you going to answer them? Now, these ready-made projects are not going to help you at all. You will give them the titles. I would say take help of. I took the help some of my colleagues, and then we divided the entire class, and we told them, go back, either give away what you're going to do with your prior thesis. We don't care. Now comes, and then I have to make them understand small projects. We are not looking for high-fi projects, which the photocopier fellow or the other people are able to give us. So the moment we told them to go ahead and do these kind of activities, then the students realized it, that yes, we should go ahead and take these things a bit serious, and then find out as to how to carry forward with many things that are available. Now, I think one of you, Sanjay, just leave the message in the WhatsApp to Mazia that either she joins up in 1 minute, and otherwise I will have to just leave it. like that only. So kindly leave a message for Mazia, who is from Jamia here. Now she tried thrice to join me up for this class, and the moment I want to admit, she is not available. So kindly let her know that if she wants, she can join up in 1 minute. Now, to be very honest, after this, we have also seen when we take our students to the, I would say, to the industrial visits. Okay. Now, it can be, let's say, for, thank you, Sanjay, I really appreciate it. When we took them to the industry, we used to tell them, make them understand. Start off with the flyer collection, or the brochures which the company is providing to you. Now, reason some of you are aware of it. What is the importance of the flyers, of the brochures which are available from the companies? Thirdly, I would say the magazines which they publish, number two. Number three, before even they can go to the industry, I would say ask them to visit the company's website also and understand who is the CEO. Look at their videos or the annual reports which are present over there. And I would say give them small assignments over there. Now, that is for those students basically. However, when you come over to your own research work, now here I'm coming back to this place. Here you will see that that particular area is really important for us. Why? Reason you are able to understand that yes, this is what my area is, and I'm going to look at the company from that perspective. So all of them, the flyers, the magazines, the brochures which are available, because you see, when you are visiting that particular company, the company always is alert. Okay, this particular college or the university is coming in, and we should give away all these things absolutely free. And not only, I would say, the flyers, the brochures, the magazine, I would say look at their promotional material which is available. For example, if you go to Mother Dairy, which is a milk production company, and usually that is very common for my students to go, or Amul chocolates, Amul company in Ahmedabad, if you go, they give you so many things, they give you variety of the chocolates, variety of the curd, yogurt that they make, the milk, and all these things that you are seeing, including I would say the cups that are being showcased. They have a proper, like if you go to Coca-Cola company or Pepsi company, they have their own museum. Museum in the sense how the Coca-Cola started up with the various products, number one, and there's so many brochures and flyers that were available, including the history as to why they chose the red color and not some other color, the bottling part of it. If you will look, Nestle company, Hyde, Zara, and I'm telling you all these things. And if you are able to collect all these materials, I would say your qualitative analysis for these students becomes much more easier. And since I'm giving you away a mantra to the PhD scholars as well as the faculty members who are present right now in this particular workshop, what you can do it is you can ask each of these students who are available to divide your work. Okay, flyers. Now, five students would be working on different flyers, or you can give it to them one flyer and tell them, I want you to study this particular flyer and take a form of PDF format of that flyer and introduce it in NVivo. Students love to work on NVivo. This also I'm making it up. So NVivo in that way, some of you who are there, I'm making it very clear, is meant exclusively for the master students. And I'm making it very clear in almost 98% of your foreign universities, it is the students at the post-graduation level are given introduction to NVivo. By the time they come to the research area, they are either working on max UDA, the sophisticated, and the other part of it. Why? NVivo is a very simple tool, making it very clear, number one, and it is meant to be introduced at the post graduation level itself. And once you are at that level, ask the students to do it. Okay, this is number one. Number two, some of you must have heard about the products of the Microsoft. Microsoft also has come up with their own tools like business par, or you can say even Microsoft, I think par BI business, yes, business par, and all those things. This I'll be introducing to you. Now, these are the tools which are used at the post graduation level, because we want the students to, we are making the ground, you understood, we are making the ground for the students. However, some of you who are there and are eager to work on the flyers that you have collected, let's say I visit to Parliament House in Delhi. Now when I'm visiting Parliament House, I know Parliament right now it is 2022. Now we all know when it has started off and what is happening. Now if you want to do as a law student, you want to understand and the Indian Parliament, the way, you can go to the museum, and the kind of the flyers, brochures, the study material which is being given away to the students or the faculties is marvelous. I mean, there is so much of data, that is what I would call it as data. So here I'm making it very clear. Do not throw away. Now the students, when they bring the brochures, they might say, what will I do with the brochure or flyer? And they will just make the rockets or the aeroplanes, paper aeroplanes, and they throw away. However, you as a teacher, you can collect those flyers, and or you can make the groups within those MBA students coming from different areas, and give them the work so that they can prepare small projects for you using NVivo, and that data or that information can be shared with you. So you are making a database for yourself, right? Taking the help from the MBA law architecture. Now me as a student, I have shown to you when I was teaching all these departments, there was so much. Now imagine an architecture student. The architecture student, when they will visit the Parliament House, now they will study. Okay, the Parliament, is a circular thing. It has got like this, a spherical thing. I'm so sorry, and the design of it that they are going to study. Now, when Modi ji has said that we are going to come up with a new, and then they had that what do you say, the design in front of them, the plan, they started doing the comparative work to understand whether the Parliament House that was constructed by the British was that better, or the contemporary Indian Parliament. Here, when it was designed, none of the Indians were taken. However, now here it is more of the Indian contribution. So they are studying. Now, you see, this is their data that has been given to them, and they're taking care. Now, even in management, I know designs are very much important, and some of you who are aware of it, you can do. Otherwise, the material that you are getting, so I have given you, similarly, when they are doing the internship, when they visit the factories and then they come back, or the industries, look at the way they are doing it. Allow them to use the simple tool like NVivo, and then carry forward whatever they are doing it, utilize it for your further research work also side by side. Finance students who are there, give them the annual reports. One company, different annual reports to different students, and ask them to make small, give them the asset test, looking at the financial data. Give them okay, now we want you to find out, what are the assets, what are the liabilities. Let them do the comparative, or maybe for 1 year on the Microsoft Excel, and present it out to you. Now these are the activities of I'm just sharing it with all of you. Why? Because they would be interested to understand what the research is all about. Now if you are there, now all these activities were given to you also. I don't know how your teachers made you do it. However, if you think you have got that material, you can utilize it, because once you have got, you would be able to see some kind of problems. Now, why I'm telling you all these things? Tomorrow, there are 5 varieties of things that has to be understood before you are going for choosing the philosophies of research. This can be understood only if the students have completed what I call it as observations. And you will see the importance of these observations tomorrow. I won't be taking up from the flyers or any of the brochures out here. However, I'll be giving to you an example to make you understand what these are. Observations, when we are talking about, there are 5 ways in which you, as their seniors, would be making a further observation. One, difference between the universals and particulars. We will understand what it is basically. Then going and understanding what you call it as pure, I used the word last time also, sense experiences, noma, and I'm not going to introduce any technical words out here. Sense experiences versus what you call it as the conceptual knowledge. This is the second one. Third one that you're talking about is the theory building, how we can go ahead and understand this one from the students itself and making a complete level for yourself so that you are able to understand it for you. And 2 more are there that I'll be introducing it before I can enter into these things as to why the different philosophies of research have been entered and how they are going to be understood by each one of you. Even before now, you can understand. See, the thing in research is not just like that that they have come up. It is, there is something that is taking place here, and if you have made your students or yourself very strong here, then going to the research area, I'm sorry, to the research areas becomes very clear to each one of you. Okay. So that is the importance of the area. Number one, going, visiting, and how you're taking up, which I have made it up. Second is giving the exposure to the world of textbooks. Now, you see, when I was, you see, I'll have to give my example. Otherwise, each one of you also are aware that even you enter, let's say, enter into a finance domain or marketing area or HR or organizational behavior, you will see that there are some classical textbooks which you are meant to read chapter by chapter, line by line, para by para. This is how the training has to be given. Like we know there is just one textbook that we are talking about. When if, like, I come from the marketing domain, so for me it is Philip Kotler. Now, if it is the textbook by Philip Kotler, then if, let's suppose, I go and I am giving an interview, and the first question, I think even in the group, one of the students asked me, or maybe in the last workshop, what do you mean by specialization? Specialization means in the first year you have completed, given the basic introduction. When you go to the next level, you are asked, what do you want to specialize into? So if you say I'm into marketing, you're segregated. Finance, you're into a different group. Then comes HR, different group. You know, so there are those international business, business law, or it can be business technologies, which I'm seeing right now. So if you come into these areas, you will find it out that the textbooks are given. Like for me, marketing, international business, as well as the marketing. Philip Kotler's book. Now, the moment I tell somebody that, yes, I come from the marketing, they assume that Ramani must have read about the book on, they ask me, can you name, in the interviews I'm talking about, wherever I go, they ask me, the first question is, can you name one of the textbook that you have read? So I tell them, of course, yes, marketing, Philip Kotler. Okay, which is your favorite chapter in Philip Kotler? You are supposed to know which is your favorite chapter, and then the questions start off from there. you're building up and they're testing you how much of the knowledge. Okay, I tell them that yes, I love chapter number 8. Now the question comes, what is the chapter 8? Now, simply answering chapter 8 is not going to help you out. You have to talk about chapter 8, what it is, what attracted to you, what was the weakness in it, what you did not like it. All those things will be coming at the level of the textbook. Why? What is the reason? I would be coming when I'll be introducing to you the book by Popper, which I'm going to share it today. Yesterday, I was supposed to do it. I purposely, intentionally did not do it. Reason, we have to understand how to go about with our research work. Popper, Kuhn, they are the best individuals, and I will show you in their books. They even tell you, okay, how you are supposed to not only choose your area, however, which is the technique that you have to use to do the research. Also, they have made you understand. This you will understand it only if you know your textbooks or some of the literature background that you have done. Maybe 10 textbooks you have picked up from the domain of marketing, and you have seen that yes, something is wrong. It comes, as you are reading it properly, there are certain things which take place, and I will show you in my next this thing what they are basically. And then the third level comes your own thinking capabilities. When we talk about your thinking capabilities, I'm talking about the critical reasoning, which is very much necessary for us to do. And that is the reason critical reasoning is usually presented out at the post graduation level across the various domains. So, even if you feel that yes, you're very poor, let us be very honest. Now, when you are learning something or when you are doing, the best policy is be very honest and tell them, yes, I do not know. You are at the zero level, or maybe you are at the negative level. Now, when I encountered Neeraj sir, I know it very well. He asked me, you have already completed with your PhD. Why you want to learn research methodology? So my question to him was, research methodology, was it restricted only to PhD scholars? And what about for myself? I don't know quantitative analysis. And I told him, I'm absolutely zero. Not absolutely zero. I told him, sir, I'm doing my law, and in law, majority of them are into qualitative. However, they don't do the quantitative. And I want to learn quantitative because I want to apply the quantitative methodologies in my law studies, because I was doing my LLB at that time. So he understood, and okay, this girl has got a motive why she wants to understand it. Now, you see, if you are not honest and with your own knowledge, then you can never ever learn. So it's always better you tell whosoever they are, I don't know. It is always better because they will make you understand right from the scratch. So this is the area wherein we take a lot of efforts to make. I take special workshops. Maybe my next workshop will be only on critical reasoning, to understand how you are supposed to even go. For example, Philip Kotler's book is there. Now, I know as a teacher of critical reasoning person, I had to literally look at the various sections of the book and criticize Philip Kotler. That, see, this is the mistake that you are doing it. Now, if I have understood those mistakes which were present, let me tell you, this takes you to the level of your research. Just one book of Philip Kotler and so many research papers which have been written on that topic, depending upon what you are taking care out here. Simple, done. This is where your knowledge of area is coming in. We are not at that level, so I'm not entering into the depth of it. However, maybe my next workshop, which I'm going to take up on critical reasoning, some of you can join up and we will see how you are supposed to understand it also side by side. Next comes our choosing philosophies of research. Before this also, I would say you are supposed to know certain things, and that is observations, universals, particulars. sense experiences and the concepts that you have done. Conceptual understanding comes only from the textbooks. If you have not read these textbooks properly, I'm using the word either one textbook or two textbooks. The choice is yours, how you would like to go ahead and see what is happening at this level and what is going to happen at this level also. Okay, and next comes with the theory part of it. We will see that also, whether you like the theories which have been given in the textbook or something which you do not like it. And then comes in, after completion of this, choosing your philosophies of research as to depending upon your domain. Tomorrow I would be introducing to you about choosing these philosophies of research and to understand how to go about it and know more about these philosophies. And that means that I have to give you the book by Popper, by Kuhn also, number one, so that the movement from this to this have to be understood. And in this I will be taking care of this one also, as well as the selection of readings from Popper and Kuhn. Because if you have understood this, going ahead with your qualitative work becomes much more easier. That is the reason this week at least it would be like more of a theory, understanding the basics of it, along with little bit of the understanding about the way I have given to you about the in vivo. Okay, so these things are supposed to be known to you. Then once you have understood, okay, I'm choosing this one, it is always important to make a writing necessary as to why and what those reasons are. Tomorrow when I'm going to introduce to you, now for example here, I know one of you is very seriously collected a lot of material in terms of flyers, brochures, or you are collecting from various institutions with yourself. So you have done the groundwork basically, and you can go ahead and start reading these flyers, brochures, or the magazines which are available, or maybe let's say even the audio data. Some of you who are got access to MacBooks can look into the audio files. There's so much of material which is available in Mac that one group of my students, where they are just using the MacBooks, and we do the training exclusively for those teachers, and the way they are training their students. So over there you will see a lot of information is available to you. In the same manner, Google has a lot of audio files. Let me tell you, when you are collecting the data, as I told you, next Monday I would be giving the introduction to show you where all the ways in which you can collect the data meant for your qualitative, whether it is personalized or impersonalized one. When I say personalized, it means that depending upon your own research area. Now, for example, one of you can say, no, I go into the field. That becomes your personal data. Impersonalized data means which is available on the public domain. There also you can utilize, take the help of that data that is available, and you can do a lot of research work in those terms also, side by side. Now, remember, at each level of these timelines that I'm talking about, lot of writing work as homework is necessary for you. And that is the reason yesterday I took at least 1 hour 20 minutes just to explain my agenda. And that was done intentionally, so that so some of you, I don't know how seriously you took up my, if I had been there, I have my Excel sheets ready. I start off with the topic, and my writing work begins. Or if you have got knowledge about Word, how to make the headings and subheadings and everything, date wise you can create a journal for yourself. And I'm giving you the introduction as to how to write and keep yourself alert for each and everything, if you're very serious with your research part of it. Now, for example, one of you, maybe like I'm very passionate about research. So let's say today I'm going to a market to purchase few books, and I know that I would be going to the market. Now, in my normal conversations with the individual, also comes up, because I'm trained into that manner, and when I'm conversing with the others, also let it be my maid, my mom, or it can be my sisters, or it can be my relatives, or my colleagues, or even the strangers. When you're traveling from one part of the country to the other part of the country, maybe by bus, these are also the ways in which you are collecting the data. Now, the conversations that various conversations which are taking place for you, they fall into what you call it as the category of your narrative analysis. And each and every experience of yours, depending upon your area of research, again, you can, or different areas, once you have completed with your PhD, you have got the leverage to go ahead and do research, maybe towards with your topic or a different area. Okay, you can look into it. Like, for example, you have documentaries, television serials, Amazon Prime is there, the Netflix is there, you're watching movies. Now, the way each one of you is going to look. Now, one homework which I'm giving it to each one of you today, before I can forget, is looking at a very small movie, a documentary, I would say, which is available on YouTube. It's a 10-minute documentary exactly. It is called as The Dog. Ninja, sorry. It is Ninja, the Dog. You can simply write it down. I think it is available even through Google. You can just write it down. Ninja, the dog, YouTube movie, or it is actually a documentary here, and I think it would be available. Let's see, if it is not, then I will like to go ahead and share it later on so that it is available. Ninja, it's called as Ninja. Let me see if it is there or not. Mm, no, let me just it is there in my this thing. And otherwise, I will just share it with you later on once I'm there, after this. And WhatsApp, it's just exactly a 10 minutes documentary which is there. And all of you should watch that documentary. And then I have prepared, I'm showcasing to you, after looking at that particular movie, 50 of you are there, 55 or maybe 75 of you are there together. No, 125 of you are there. So all 125 of yours data will be collected, and I will be showcasing to you, and that would be for that particular documentary. Now, you see, if you ask me how am I going to do, all set 125 of you are there with me for this particular workshop. And then I have seen one, we would be doing documentary analysis along with me, because the data will be shared with each one of you. Then we would be doing one on website analysis. When I say website analysis, I'm not asking you to be a search engine SEO kind of a person and going ahead. This is as per the qualitative research. Then the some sound analysis, we would be working on that. Then I have the image analysis, and these things we will do using NVivo, Atlas TI, MaxQDA, and the other ones also. Then we have got the textual analysis also. Now here in textual analysis, some of you can lay your hands on R after looking media search, I should say the YouTube videos. You can use R. Python is also there for us. We will do textual analysis using exclusively the qualitative tools which are available for us. This will be there. Then I'll be showcasing to you some brochure analysis. These are in reality. I'm going to pick up some of the brochures, maybe 25 of them, and in reality, we will see how to go ahead and do. Similarly, video analysis, we will do it. Now, when I say video analysis, I'm talking about the videos which are available on different company websites and how to understand them. For example, there are some individuals who are doing HR, OB, finance. So we will look, how to understand those things from the angle of the video analysis also side by side. Apart from that, we have got the recordings which are available on recordings of, I would say, analysis. That also will be there. Textual analysis, all kind of textual analysis. So do not ask me whether we are going to do this one. No, I'll be showcasing to you on different ones so that you are aware of it. Video analysis, recording analysis that we have got. Then we will do a little bit of Twitter analysis depending upon some of the data that is available. Then Facebook analysis. Okay, YouTube. So these will be there for us. Apart from that, a film we can pick up, film analysis. That also I will show it to you. For example, if you're looking at a particular film, how to understand it. That is also necessary for us to go ahead and take care of it. Once you have come, okay, then we have got the image analysis, one technique using Python. It's very easy. It's not very difficult for us. And we will see how to analyze those images for you, image analysis, and how to understand it also. Now, since I don't see any one of you coming from the medical side, so I'm not entering into the X-ray analysis and all those things. I'm not going to worry upon that. Then we will pick up some annual reports from the companies and we will see how to do the analysis of it in the form of the textual analysis, number one. Number two, it can be for the financial data. I will not show the complete thing, but yes, some part of it I can show. The remaining high-five analysis you can do as per your domain knowledge and the expertise also, and how to understand the images or the messages that are being given by the director, CEO, or the other CFOs are also there. And there are some internal as well as the external directors, how to understand their messages. So, you can understand these things and we are able to go ahead and take care of it. Number one. Okay. Number two, if we are doing the longitudinal analysis, that means year by year, or you're choosing, let's say, some of the years for that particular company, how to understand it. Okay. Now that we will be doing it with help of the phenomenology, or let's say how to use the feministic looking at it. We will understand from that perspective, or we can even look from the focus group interviews, how to understand looking at these things also we can go, or with the ethnography analysis that we have got, the 5 approaches, the research designs as per Dr. Creswell. We will look at those things also, and we will be able to understand and look at it to know how to go ahead with the qualitative analysis on one side. On the other hand, even if you are looking, let's say, for content analysis of these ones, or let's say thematic ones, how to understand those things will be the next level part of it that I'll be showcasing. Once you have done the current qualitative part, if you remember, I have talked about is comparative content comparison. Content analysis, CCA. If you remember, I did it this one. We will be working on those things also. So this is what I'm planning to do. And in between, I have missed out some of the schools. However, we will combine those things also. Now, apart from that, since I'm going to give you the understanding of ontology, metaphysics tomorrow, which you will be seeing, epistemological studies, it can be epistemological one, or let's say even the ethical part of it, or aesthetics. These are the various terminologies that we use it. Pragmatism, how to understand them, how to combine these words also along with the other ones that you have got, like for example ontological, phenomenological study, metaphysical, and let's say you want to do a feministic study. So how you're going to write these words into your titles will be my next agenda also, side by side for you. That is starting off from tomorrow. Now, if I have completed with this part of it, that okay, I was telling you that yes, you will have to open up your Word file, or if you are a traditional student like me, keep a hard register in your hand, and then you can start jotting down on a daily basis, either with the help of the pencils, or if you want to use pens, different colors of the pens while you are writing and all. These things have to be started off at the level of the reasoning. Remember this thing very, very carefully, because there are a lot of things which you are going to include it, and this is going to stay right from this level to this level. One of my students, law student, that's what she did right from the first year. And I asked her whatever was her observations when she went for the industrial visit, or when she went to a court, whatever it was as a student. I asked her, please jot down, don't show it to me, because she was showing it to me. So being a very serious researcher and strong with my ethics, I told her, no, remember that I'm also a researcher. So if you show me your data, it's possible that I will start off writing my own book and I'll get it published. You have to be working hard, because it is your journey, and then get the work published. And she did that. And the book was published with LexisNexis, and her entire journey was showcased as to how it is important. Now she has completed with her LLM, and now she is doing her PhD from one of the Canadian universities. And she thanked me, ma'am, whatever you have said, it's really helpful. So, start doing it in your notebooks also, and you should keep your journey as to how much time did you take to learn about positivism. There is nothing wrong, even like for example, if I tell you that yes, right now I'm 34-year old. So at 34 years also, I haven't understood the textbook which is written by so and so person. Like I told you, when I started off reading the book written by Kant, and tomorrow I will be explaining to you, his book is Critique of Pure Reason. Now, till date, his book, I think there are more than 425 pages, out of which for fourth chapter of his book, I am not able to complete even 25 pages. I'm stuck up with these 25 pages. Similarly, all of you who are coming from the background of the management department know Andy Field very well, right? Andy Field's book, Discovery of the Statistics using SPSS, his first book, which is written, so many versions are there. I keep telling him I'm not able to cover more than 15 pages from his book. Forget about the other book. I'm not able to complete it, because the more I read, the different things are coming in. Now, how those different things come in for each one of you is also a technique which has to be taught, and that I will be showcasing it. And then the reasonings, how you're going to write it down, all those things I will be showcasing to you also. So when you are at this domain, start writing down as much as possible. Okay, I know this thing, I don't know this thing. I know this thing, I do not know. The best is open the page and write it down, pluses here, and minuses. These are called as your own intellectual brainstorming ways of doing it. Whatever is looking good to you, okay, write it down under pluses. Whatever you think are your weaknesses, that means you're not able to understand, there are certain questions which are arising, you there is something which hits your mind at that time. Okay, I have seen this thing happening at this place, I don't see this thing taking place. Now, for example, to give you a very simple example, all of us drink tea, right? In India, we know how the tea is prepared. We take a ketli, a bartan, that's what it is, and then we add water. After the water is boiled, I'm talking about hardcore boiled water. When you see the bubbles coming into it, you add the tea leaves and you simmer the simmer in the sense lower the gas flame, basically, and you allow it to seep more. After you see that yes, the color of the water has changed to dark color, you go ahead, add cardamom, tulsi leaves, pepper, good, whatever you feel like, and after some time you add the milk, right? And then you go ahead. Now, the variations are very different of preparing tea in our country depending upon the states and the cities and the family backgrounds. You know, every family here in India, I find that they have a different style of preparing tea. However, when you go to Japan or China, I'm talking about two places where, or even Korea, I have seen the way they make the tea is very, very different. So when I observe them preparing the tea in front of my eyes, how do they prepare? You will have to wait and check it out. And then, you know, how the Chinese prepare it and how much they take it up. Then I saw that in India, the tea is usually a big mug, a cup of tea that you have got. Mostly, you can say it is 25 to 50 grams or maybe 350 grams of the tea. Roughly, I'm talking about a good cup, I'm talking about. Or in villages, if you go, they take up a big glass of the tea. Whereas if you go to Japan, China, Korea, you will see that it's almost like a toy cup. You know, जो बच्चे खेलते हैं ना, you give the gift, the tea set to your girl child or to the girl. Have you seen the cup size? It's a very small one. They drink tea in such cups of tea. Now, for me as a researcher, then I looked at them and the way prepare it, and I was apprehensive. ये कैसा चाय है? ये तो मैं पीती ही नहीं हूँ. And then Indian chai, तो anyway I never tasted it. It is only the smell that really helps me to understand that yes, the tea is good or bad. I never tasted, except for the green tea. I consume a lot of green tea and Kashmiri noon chai. Now, the chai varieties that you find in India are also very different. I don't know how many of you have tasted the salted tea from Kashmir. They don't drink the Lipton chai. They call it as Lipton chai, the normal tea that we prepare it. Now, there also I see that the cups are very different. Okay, in Kashmir, you go to Leh Ladakh, the tea that they prepare is butter tea, and look at their cups; they are also very different. However, the culture difference comes here for me. Now, this is also, now look at the YouTubes. Like majority of us have not visited China or Japan. If you look at the YouTube, they are full of these. I would say the videos, and you can have a look at it. Now, looking by it, also you can come up with the reasons and the values, whatever you are looking at. So, you know, when you are reading the books from here, you will be seeing that something is stuck up. Now, that stuck up part will be entered in your negative part. Negative doesn't mean it's a negative in that sense. Basically, it means that something is नहीं हो रहा है, जिसको हिंदी में आप लोग कहते हैं खटकता है दिमाग पे. So that is what I'm looking for here. So, you know, you're supposed to keep these things in front of you also. For example, when you go to a movie, the way you are looking at a movie, definitely, yes, it will be different from your sister, the way she looks at movie, or even if a simple cricket match between India and Pakistan is taking place. Look what happens in the family. आप तो I mean, I have seen in my cousin's place also, when we go, we sit together and we watch that my cousin brother, he's so strict that one of my cousins, she's a hardcore fan of Pakistan cricket players, so she always takes the side of the Pakistani team. Now my cousin brother, he is more with the Indian, pakka Hindustani hai, so he takes the side. So the moment he sees that Pakistan, he gets hyper. The way he then starts using certain, how it takes place is the phenomenological study for me. What makes him angry at his sister? Why is he abusive? Does he turn to be violent कि भाई तुम निकल जाओ कमरे से, तुम यहाँ बैठी रहोगी तो इंडिया कभी जीतेगी नहीं? These kind of sentences also you can see are taking place. So this turns out to be a perfect neurological study for me for that particular observation of the cricket match. I've just given you one example. So for me, when I start writing them, I'm a hardcore writer in that manner, and I have a big thick register in front of me, and I keep writing because I know that this can be converted into a perfect narrative, and after performing the narrative analysis, I can write a narrative paper. Now I will be showcasing to you. Once I complete my SLR, that is systematic literature review session, you will see that there are umbrella papers that you can write. You can write the other varieties of the papers which are available, and you will see that yes, these kind of a things can take place. The same thing, India Pakistan ke matches to kitne hue hain, right? So I have the data, longitudinal data with me for that particular year, then the next year, then the next year. So I start writing down completely, and I have kept it as a ready made, maybe on Excel sheet or in my registers. So you will see that how these things are very much useful for you. Then once you have completed with this, we can enter into the qualitative or the quantitative domain. Before entering into the quantitative, we need to focus upon our qualitative journey. Okay, so you have chosen your area, you have chosen your philosophies, then reasons are available for you, and now you are entering into the qualitative domain before entering, or you have done the quantitative. Choice is yours how you enter into qualitative, or a combination of both. And this is what in Saunders' Onion we have seen, that why he has written either go for mono method quantitative or mono method qualitative, go for multi method quantitative, which needed sir is doing nowadays, multi level analysis that he is looking at completely, he's at this level. Or you can go ahead with mixed methodologies, this is the one that we were talking about, or multi level. Now we haven't even done the basics of, I won't say not even the basics we have covered about the qualitative. Forget about the multi-method as well as the multi-method complex part of our qualitative research. This will be taking maybe after maybe few more workshops, and then you would be able to understand how to carry forward. Though I'll be giving you the introduction about the multi-method qualitative as well as the mixed method simple one, before going ahead with the mixed method complexive part of it also. So this is what exactly we are talking about when we are into the realm of the qualitative. So now you can understand why I was apprehensive of sharing Saunders' book last night, because Saunders' book talks about all these things. When we are at mono method or mono, right now we are only at the mono method qualitative, or you can say I don't know simple whether I will be able to cover or not. However, we are at this level, and then we will have to understand basically all these things to make you understand what exactly we are planning to do in the qualitative studies also side by side. So after that, if you are into the thesis writing or a paper writing, you will have to give a justification for why you have chosen the qualitative study. Number one, what are your, and that comes with your reasons. That means a lot of analysis you have done, with the reasoning as well as the qualitative step and in your justification about it, so that you are entering into what I call it as the explanation part of it. Now, before I can talk anything else, also, I would like to stop here for some time and ask if there are any kind of questions from your side before I can enter into the further part of it. So if you think that yes, there are certain questions, because there was so much that I entered into the realm right now. So you can ask me some of the questions. If you think that yes, there are no more questions, I will go ahead. I can give you 1 minute. I will just get a glass of water for myself in, and I'll be joining you up. So you can let me know. Either you can unmute yourself, you can ask me the questions. If you think you don't have any question, then I will go ahead. I'm giving you 1 minute exactly. Yes. Any questions? Kanan sir, any questions from your side? Felix?
No, I have no question, ma'am.
Okay.
Please proceed.
Tenzin?
No, ma'am.
Okay, Sanjay does not have. Meera, any questions from your side? Meera, Francis, Jaspreet?
No, ma'am.
Okay, fine. In that case, then let me resume the all clear. Oh my God, Tenzin. Yes, I have to start taking a test now in this case. Okay. All right, sir. Thank you, sir. Let me proceed further and add on a little bit more that I wanted to share today in that manner. And this is the one where I've stopped. Okay, now here, this is the one that we were discussing about, and I have given you enough of information about what exactly is happening and how to take care about these one. Now, if we are going to talk about the other things, which you can see in my slide that I have written it out here, in the research work, depending upon your area, you can think about whether you want to do purely qualitative part of it, or you want to go ahead and do something else. Now, majority of the students at their MPhil level, they prefer to do purely qualitative study only. Qualitative study in the sense the research that they focus upon. They say that no, this area we are going to focus only on qualitative for their MPhil, which usually takes place. The time that we give the duration is nearly 1.5 years. After their post graduation. Now here, why MPhil they focus on the qualitative, so that once they compete with it and get the results, whatever the results are there, they can step into the quantitative area very nicely, and then focus upon, and not that they are going to keep away themselves away from the qualitative domain. They would be looking at it continuously and comparing them, what exactly is taking place at both the levels, in qualitative manner also, as well as in the quantitative manner also. Why? This helps them to come up and reach to a level to see that the research that they are talking about, is it worthwhile for them? Because ultimately we know that research, tomorrow when I'm going to discuss about this thing, you will see that research has to be useful to you. There is that utilitarian value that is there for your research work, and we will see how that utilitarian value is coming in for you, so that you are able to go ahead and speak to the society that, see, this is the importance of my research work that I'm looking forward for. So you are say, and that is the reason, sometimes either students prefer at the MPhil level purely qualitative. By the time they come to the PhD, it is purely quantitative for them. That's number two. Number three, they also see that yes, it's not only just the qualitative that they are looking for. Sometimes, let's say they like majority of you are doing right now your PhD. So, and that is also in quantitative manner. You are not, you did not work at all with the qualitative part of it. So if you are at the initial level, you can combine both of them together and say that yes, mine is a mixed methodology. And you cannot combine just like that. Let me make it absolutely clear, just by thinking that, okay, I haven't touched upon the qualitative, so let me combine. No, the triangulation method, there is a way in which you need to understand that also. So we will see, for example, if you want to do, like I see again, some of the students telling me that yes, along with the quantitative, ma'am, I have started off with the focus group. I just look at them. I ask them, then what are your questions in the quantitative? What are your objectives out here? And I say, how you are entering into the focus group? You see, you cannot do that. There is a different way in which you will have to understand and then carry forward. Then I hear one more student coming and telling me that yes, you see, I have done the ethnographic studies and now I'm planning to do the quantitative on the similar lines. Can we do like that or not? Is the purpose which you would be understanding during your reasoning level, and then you will have to go ahead with that part of it. And this is exactly, if you are at the level of the reason, you have been able to come up with those reasons appropriately, and you have taken care of your qualitative study, then you can go ahead, justify yourself, give the explanation for it, and then go ahead with the help of these writings. And that's why in my agenda I have very clearly made it, which in the last night, if you have seen, what's her name, Apurva, questioning you that, ma'am, I want to start off with the, can I do it? And then I told her, why don't you just wait? Remember, some of you who were there, she asked me about this question, ma'am, what exactly do you mean by writing? And what do we do in this presentations and writings? And I did not write only singular writing. I wrote writings out here. There was a reason behind it. So, these things are really important for us to know. And tomorrow, after my first session is over, during the second part of it, I would be explaining to you how to start off with the writing part, also in your qualitative research, and how that is going to be helpful for you when we talk about the explanation. And then from here, when you go ahead, not only you are writing number one, in fact, you are also going ahead and getting it published, or you are presentation. That's what we call it as the presentation. Presentation means going for the publication part of it. So, these are certain things that we have to understand and carry forward more and more. Now, today, I don't see that, yes, we have got so much of time to go ahead with the softwares. However, I would tell you one little small things that you need to understand when we are talking about softwares. Tomorrow, along with this last half an hour, I would be introducing to you the concept of the softwares in qualitative research, how to choose these softwares for your qualitative research methodology. That's number two. Number three, how many varieties? Or maybe I can start off with giving you the introduction with the help of some of the softwares that are available. There are around 48 softwares which are available for qualitative research. Out of which I'll be giving you the names of all the 48 softwares that are available with us. Afterwards, I would be focusing exclusively only on 18 of them. The remaining 30 which are there, either we will do it later on. Reason, these are used for different purposes, and I don't see the utility right now. Therefore, I may not be introducing them. However, my focus will be more on these 18 of the softwares that I'm going to focus upon. So tomorrow I would be giving you the introduction about these 18 softwares also side by side. Now, one more thing that I wanted to ask you. This is one way to understand my timeline for the research. Okay. The second way to understand the timeline of my research is, suppose saying right now I'm at my MPhil and now I need to go ahead with my research. Okay, like a proper research I'm talking about. You have to choose your area, and when I say the area, I have explained to you completely with the help of my introduction and each and everything, what you are supposed to do, how you are supposed to do it. After you have chosen your areas, domains of knowledge, and everything, you jump into the choosing of the philosophies of the research. The question arises, why philosophies of research is important for us. Reason is, that's where we have to focus upon Popper and Kuhn. This is again, these books also I'll be sharing it today. There are three books of Popper and one book by Kuhn. Kuhn is the spelling is Kuhn, Thomas Kuhn. And these three books and one, and that doesn't mean you're going to read all the chapters. You're just going to focus exclusively on from all the three books of Popper. There would be two chapters, and in Kuhn, one chapter itself is more than enough. And this is where I would be focusing and discussing with you people tomorrow. Why? Because when you are writing either the thesis or the dissertation or the paper for your publication, you have to write one or two lines and support it with the contemporary papers that has been focused on Popper and Kuhn. When I say contemporary, 2021, what they have said about Popper and Kuhn. Until date, I have seen that MDI is the one which publishes these papers, and in these papers, I have read that yes, majority of them are supporting Popper and Kuhn, and they are taking the help from there, and they're quoting them, saying that yes, we have we either rely on them or they are thankful for them for giving that kind of an idea and everything. So Popper and Kuhn, you will see they have given to you here. I have not introduced what you call it as the critical reasoning part of it without doing that part here. I'm so sorry, that part of it, I don't think so I would be able to cover at all. So this is something that I will be taking up later on. And they tell us that, yes, see, these are the critical ways that are available for you. And now you have completed with it. So these are the methods which are available for us. For example, Popper gives a complete historical evidences to us, saying that, see, this is what has happened in our society. Okay, and what was the story? The story was, he says, with the help of the Bible. I'm talking about the Western culture right now, and Western culture vows everything, takes it up. Their holy book is Bible. Bible, according to the Bible, or the things that they were talking about, it seems that Earth was at the center of the universe, and it was the sun that was moving around the Earth. We all agreed to it, and this was something which was completely agreed upon and nobody had a doubt about it. However, a time came and then there was this scientific discovery that was made by Copernicus, who established and who falsified this theory. I'm using the word now, falsified. So Popper said, there comes. Now, I haven't made you understand what is this falsification is all about, because this is part of the critical reasoning. Now, if I take up and give you also, it will be confusing as of now. So I've decided not to introduce you to that realm. However, just remember, this is his word wherein he's talking about falsification. And Copper says that this is completely false, and he came up with his own theory. And what was his theory then? His theory is that it is the sun which is in the center of the universe and all the planets. Okay, he was the one who said that Earth is revolving. Later on, Kepler and all those people, you will see, they started coming up with different theories, falsifying what Copernicus has said. And then a time came in where everybody, and right now the contemporary science says that sun is in the center of the universe and all the planets are revolving around it. Now they say Popper makes it up very clearly. He makes it up very clear in his book, and he says that this method of falsifying the prior theory is the way in which the knowledge progresses. Okay. Now, is it just the falsification? What did I do? I just cancelled it. So later on, Popper and Kuhn, they started saying, apart from the falsifying the existing theory, this is the process, they say, in which you can do the research. First of all, the existing theory has to be falsified. For example, if I'm coming from the marketing, the classical marketing textbooks tells us only on the traditional marketing. What do you mean by traditional marketing? I go to the shop, I go to a particular market, wherever it is there, like in Delhi, it can be Lajpat Nagar, Connaught Place, or if I'm going to, let's say, Amritsar sector, Chandigarh sectors are there. Then if I go to Bangalore, I have got Indira Bazaar, then I have got the ML market is there. So there are so many markets which are available for us. Yes or no? We are looking at it. Now, nowhere Philip Kotler in his earlier books talks about digital marketing. However, the moment the digital marketing came upon, he changed some of his theories. Okay, and then he said, okay, this is also there, this is also there, this is also there. However, when we are looking nowadays, now nobody is looking at the cash. Whenever I do some kind of a marketing, I don't do with the help of the cash. Most of the time, it is the digital money that I'm using. Now, digital money initially took the form of e-wallets or Paytm products and everything, PayPal. Now, I hear people talking about Western Union, MoneyGram, that is another way. Now, all these cancelled, all these are falsified, and now we are talking about what? Bitcoins, or we are talking about the cryptocurrency to do the. So, how these things are developing? So, they say basically that yes, there is this particular theory that is present. Okay, you are studying this particular theory with the help of the books or whatever are available. You falsify it. Okay, number one, and then you proceed further with your own research. And that's why each one of you come up with the philosophies of research. Now, in this philosophies of research, you will see different schools are present for us. Now, we have to understand, depending upon these schools, you support one of the schools because your data, your sample size, everything is focusing on that. You take those ones and then proceed further. Those turns out to be the reason. Is that the only reason? No. Now, Popper and Kuhn, they tell us that one of the method is you falsify it. Other person says that you completely negate in the sense you don't agree with what the person says. There is the difference between negation and the falsification. You will see tomorrow how these things are going to be understood. Or the third person says that, okay, I have got a Bible in front of me, I have got Copernicus theory, Kepler's laws are there, Newton's laws are there, Einstein's are there, then Stephen Hawking's are there. Let me do a comparative study. So what is the person doing? The person did not falsify, the person did not negate. They are doing a comparative study. So this becomes a comparative study for you. Fourth one is you say, no, I don't want to do the comparison also. I have got all here. I will go ahead with what you call it as critical appreciation, a critical study. So we will understand these things. Now, these turns out to be your reasons why you are doing. Are you falsifying the theory and coming up with something new, negating something, and then you're finding out something new? Is it the comparative work you're doing and then coming out to do something new? Is it critical study itself has got another 10 methodologies of it. Then comes the fifth one, where you go ahead and you are actually doing the experimentation for yourself by collecting the data, by understanding the population, the sample size, and then fitting into something else. So there are these methodologies which have been given to us through Popper and Kuhn, and this is where you are going to focus upon your philosophies of research. This is just the first part of the second one. Then you come up after you have understood which methodology you're going to use. That is the second one. Third, whether you want to do your literature review or not. That is the next one. The fourth one, and then there are other steps which are available to us. Okay, so those turns out to be your reasons basically. After the reasons have been done, you go ahead and you find out basically for the qualitative study you want to do. Basically, it's number one, this is the flow of the timeline. You have to do the qualitative study. Once you have completed with the qualitative study, then you proceed further with the quantitative, justify for yourself whatever the results are, and then explain, give the explanation so that you can come to a appropriate conclusion for yourself. This is how the flow of the entire research goes about it. So now I hope I've been able to make you understand here why these kind two levels of the research are important. And that's why I have drawn this line that yes, for this qualitative research to go about it, you are supposed to do these things very nicely. And that's why in this particular workshop, last time I just introduced in my 5 days workshop. However, here I have gone ahead and I have really going to explain to you, not so much in the area part because we are not into that part of it. However, my focus will be on choosing these things and the reasoning part of it, so that you are jumping into the qualitative realm. This most of you are aware of it, so I'm not going to touch upon it as of now. Maybe in future I can, but not as of now. Here I'll be discussing more and more about these two areas. That means choosing from here. I'm not talking about the critical research at all. Choosing the philosophies, then Popper Kuhn part of it, going ahead with the literature review, systematic literature review, the critical literature review, then going ahead with the reasons, and then finally into my qualitative aspect of my studies, basically. So this is the kind of a thing that you all should be understanding and taking care of it. Number one. Number two, tomorrow when I'm going to come back, I would be before that, I would be sharing away these chapters, Popper and Kuhn, the entire book along with the Saunders, assuming that you will complete the studies. Otherwise, I will have to read those paragraphs from those pages to make you understand what Popper and Kuhn was talking about. These five things. Popper exclusively talks about falsification, then negation of it, and then the criticality part of it. Kuhn and Popper together later on in another book, they talked about all these five methodologies which are there. We are also going to do it. Reason, this is going to be helpful to see whether only five of them are there or more than five are there. I have just given you five of it, as simple as that. We will see how to carry forward and then go ahead with this one. Now, apart from these things, I was thinking to divide the entire group into small groups also. I mean, individually, I should take up from your side whether this is right or not. And then I was thinking that there are so many conferences and seminars are taking place. Maybe we can utilize it, and I can show it to you, to each one of you, how to write those papers also, and we can go ahead and submit as papers in those conferences. If you feel that yes, it's a good idea, all of us can, like for example, right now I see, including me, there are 9 individuals are there. Yes or no? So all 5 of us, I mean, we can later on join up together and see that yes, for example, if we are looking at a particular problem, looking from the theme of that particular conference, we can do the groundwork, picking up certain books, certain things which are there, let's say the articles and everything. We can prepare a nice paper and do the presentation in those conferences. So if, and I myself will be there in each and every group. It's not that none of us are there, and maybe we can come up with very good qualitative papers, and we can even do the presentations in those conferences also side by side. If you feel yes to me, I will go ahead and I will make the groups which are there together. All of us can be there together, and we will definitely select 1 or 2 conferences which are there, or maybe some of them, depending upon how many groups are formed. And I think that's a wonderful way to write a paper, to involve each one of you into the writing, doing the work that we are taking up. For example, you all will can do the primary work which we are doing it right now. Like for example, some of us can work on falsification paper, falsification of certain theories. Other people, some of us can write on critical appreciation, comparative works, doing it. So at least 3 4 of us can really look about these things. And as I have explained to you, all the 5, and maybe tomorrow when we are doing it, more of them, we can look at it and we can do the presentation. So I can show it to you how the writings in reality can take up also side by side. So if you think that yes, this is a very good idea, maybe in my next group or in the evening when the others are also there, or some of you are going to be there from 8 to 9 also, you can definitely understand that yes, how we can form those groups and we can involve into reading part of it also. So what will happen is that you are reading the textbooks, you are reading the material that I'm giving it to you. Number 2. Number 3, you are into the research area. into the qualitative area, I would say strictly in that manner. After that, I would be doing even SLR, the first one that I talked about, systematic literature review. Again, some of us, after I make you understand, we can definitely write. Now, if there are 50 of us are there, trust me, there can be at least 10 SLR papers that we can write and we can submit in the international conferences. There are so many international conferences on a daily basis. I keep seeing them. So we can form small groups. That means that all of us will be working together and we are only going ahead and giving the presentations. So as a team, we can be there. One of us can give us the presentation, others can read one was like we can think about it. And I think in that way, they are publishing the papers also. We will select the conferences where the publication is taking place, maybe in a peer review journal or their own university journal, which are into it. So I don't think so that's a bad idea for you to step in and to write also side by side. So, the topics that we are doing, you will get the habit of writing, number one, and see how the journey towards the qualitative research is actually taking place for each one of you. If you think that's a good idea, thank you. Kanan sir has already given. So I think he's the only one who's present here right now. Others, I don't know. You are happy that yes, you will be getting the recording and you're not there. Otherwise, the responses can be seen here. So you can let me know later on what your backgrounds are, so that accordingly I can make the ideas also, looking at the themes as well as the topics, and then we can carry forward. So some of you should think about it. Okay, thank you, Felix. Thank you, Sanjay. You people are there very much. So we will look into it and we will be taking care. So, okay, thank you, Jaspreet. I know you are from economics. So economics, qualitative, let me tell you, Jaspreet, you can do a lot of work for yourself and you can really, do a very good presentation and writings also. I know yours, I was looking at it and then can be taken care. Yes, Meera, definitely the kind of the area, the university that you come in, you should be able to write it down. Doing SLR, of course, yes, this is not only trend, Kanan sir, this is something which is I usually recommend all my scholars to start off with the systematic literature review only, and then to proceed further. In fact, I don't know who is it who's from the computer background, and they were asking me that yes, coming from the computers background, should I do this or not? Of course, yes, you should be, irrespective of your backgrounds. You should go ahead. So maybe let me see what are those conferences are. Maybe we can look into, or even if you come across any kind of a conference detail, you can share it with us in the group, in our group that is there for 1 month, and then I will decide which one is a good one, so that it is feasible for all of us to write and work upon it in a very short span of time. And I would definitely will be there in each one of that particular groups, and we all can go ahead and present it out. So I think I'm going to end this session over here only. Tomorrow again you can join me up, and tomorrow's agenda is discussing about the books that is written by discussing books of Popper. 1 second. Popper and Kuhn. This is the first one that I'll be doing it. Second, introducing to you the terminologies which are there. Terminologies like ontology, metaphysics, etc. This is my second. Third would be the schools, philosophical schools which are there, that we will be talking about. And then definitely, yes, one more thing that would be which I would like to cover up tomorrow, apart from these topics, will be on different techniques that are there for us. Last but not the least, giving you an introduction to the softwares. And today I did not, tomorrow I would be touching upon in my 2 hours this thing, specify the chapter. Yes, Sanjay, I would be doing that absolutely, because they are such an important book. The whole book cannot be feasible. Only two chapters, and I think each chapter is of about 20 or 15 pages, not more than that. So I would be sharing it. So 10:30, 12:30 to 2:30, I haven't seen any of the individuals to be there. 1 second, let me stop recording, because this is